can improve today as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the defending world champion New York Yankees against the New York Mets in the middle game of a 3-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball. Along with Paul O'Neill, I'm Michael Kay. Well, the Yankees have lost 3 in a row. Now, last night they lost 4-0 to the Mets, and they've had struggles with the bat. Jamie Moyer, Kyle Kendrick, yesterday Hisanori Takahashi. What's going on right now, Paul?
Well, it's a strange thing because, you go into that series against Roy Halladay and you had no indication, because they basically kind of beat up one of the game's best starters. You had no indication that tomorrow Jamie Moyer was going to shut you down, and then Kendrick, and then you come into this series. And are these magnified because you're playing the Phillies and the Mets? Probably. But all of a sudden, the last couple of days, they just have not been swinging the bats well.
175 over the last 3 games, 0 for 9 last night with runners in scoring position. Let's look at today's New York Lottery pitching matchup, and it is, as they say, a dandy. Mike Pelfrey, 9-1, 2.39 against the Yankees. Phil Hughes, 9-1, 3.11. Two of the better young pitchers in baseball. Last time out, Phil Hughes picked up a victory against the Houston Astros.
Well, Phil Hughes has picked up a lot of victories. He goes into this game 9-1 for the year, and it just seems like, last game out, it wasn't his best, but you see early in the game he had his good power fastball. Is it going to be one of those years where everything goes his way, or is he going to have to turn it around a little bit, bounce back as he's pitching against a good pitcher today?
Now, in 2000, the World Series, the at-bat between Paul O'Neill and Armando Benitez might have been the biggest at-bat of the series. Paul O'Neill will break it down pitch by pitch next on Segment 2 on Yes. Rodriguez and Brett Gardner had a long battle, long at bat, and it reminded me of the 2000 World Series between the Yankees and the Mets. And a lot of people say your at bat against Armando Benitez was one of the most important at bats in the series, if not the biggest. Go through this. What happened here? What's going through your mind?
Well, you're trying to lead off the inning, obviously, and right there now I'm in a panic mode. I'm behind the account of a guy who throws hard. I don't feel real good about this at bat, but as you get back into the at bat, all of a sudden you realize, he's in as much trouble as you are. And that makes the whole roll. Look at Al Leiter, a nervous wreck, even on the bench.
Right there, he's thinking, I've got to work with that guy someday in the booth.
That's right.
Did you realize how big that was? Because that really did turn the series. The Mets had the lead in that 9th inning.
Well, what became big is, it was the next hitter. Louis Polonia comes up and drives the ball into right field, and all of a sudden, we tie the game up in a blink of an eye. And, game one is so big in a series, and I don't know if the Mets believe they could beat us coming into that series, and if they win game one, that would have been a big shot for them. But it's all history, and you bring back these old tapes, bring back good memories.
A big-time walk. Anyway, we got a big-time game coming up. It should be fun. Yankees against the Mets, and a good pitching matchup. Phil Hughes is going to go for the Yankees, and then on the Mets side, it's going to be red-hot Mike Pelfrey. Lineups, first pitch, baseball coming up next on Yes. refreshing, large sweet tea on the dollar menu. Price and participation may vary. Massachusetts Tourism. For great deals and endless ideas for your next Massachusetts getaway, visit massvacation.com. And by Johnny Walker. Demand greatness in every sip and every season. Johnny Walker, proud sponsor of the New York Yankees. Nice, hot, steamy day here at Yankee Stadium. Crowd still filing into the ballpark. Yesterday, a sellout of over 49,000. Yankees have taken the field. Phil Hughes on the mound. We'll take a look at the Mets starting lineup, which is presented by Lexus. Jose Reyes, the shortstop, will bat in the leadoff position. Batting second and playing center field, Angel Pagan. David Wright at third, bats third. Cleaning up and playing first base, the rookie Ike Davis. Jason Bays in left field, will bat fifth. Batting sixth and DHing Chris Carter. Jeff Francoeur in right. Alex Cora is at second. Henry Blanco will catch at bat ninth. So Phil Hughes in his meditative state behind the mound. And those are his numbers this year. 9-1, 3.11 ERA. 75 in the third innings and 74 strikeouts. We'll give you the scouting report in just a moment. Jose Reyes digs in. Phil Hughes is ready. The crowd is ready. We are ready, and let's do it. Here in the Bronx, the big right-hander deals a strike, and we are underway. Let's take a look at the Jeep pitcher scouting report on Phil Hughes, Paul.
Well, good, not great of late. I mean, he got off to such a good start, hard to live up to. First 6 starts, 1.3 ERA. Last 6 starts.
That one's driven deep to right field. There it goes. Leadoff home run, Jose Reyes.
There's no secret that Reyes has been hot, and it's no secret that, he adds a lot to this lineup, especially from the leadoff spot. Phil Hughes wants to come out, get ahead with his fastball. Right down the middle. 16th career leadoff hitter. 16th career leadoff home run for Reyes.
So just like that, the Mets jump out to a 1-0 lead. Here's Angel Pagan. So an inauspicious start to this game for the Yanks. Pitch is low. Let's finish up that scouting report, Paul.
Well, let's skip down to point number 2, and it's still no free passes. I mean, he only has 22 walks all year compared to 74 strikeouts. So that part of his game has been very consistent. And round 2, I mean, he was defeated by Pelfrey at Citi Field earlier in the year. So he's got another crack at him today. A long time to get all that out, but we made it through it.
A lot happened in that. Yeah, did it. The 1-1.
Good curveball.
Chad Fairchild is the home plate umpire. Count 1-2. Pagan with a 7-game hitting streak, hitting .292. High pop up, left field. Gardner is there for the first out. Let's take a look at the Yankees defense, brought to you by Mercedes. In the outfield, Gardner, Granderson, and Swisher left to right. Infield, Russo's at third. Jeter was a late scratch with a bad heel, so Ping is at short. Cano, errorless in his last 51 games at second. Teixeira at first. Posada behind the plate. Phil Hughes is on the mound. We think that this is where he might have hurt his right heel, stretching out at first base. To beat it out, the ball was dropped by Davis, and it was the only hit for Jeter last night.
You see, ideally, you just want to catch the front part of that bag with the, the front part of your shoe. Looks like he overstrided a little bit. It's amazing the little things, the bumps and bruises that you get in playing this game every single day. Obviously, Joe Girardi has said, he's always into the big picture. If you have something that's ailing you today, you don't want it to become something, so you can get a day off.
Of course, Jeter could serve as a pinch hitter later in the game. See what David Wright's done, tied for first in the National League with 53 runs batted in. Troy Gloss also with 53. Gloss with the Braves having a good comeback year. The 1-1. Outside corner. 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch is ripped foul down the left field line. Let's take a look at the Home Depot scouting report on David Wright.
Well, the power's back on. He has 12 home runs this year. It's more than he had all of last year. And, you know, not enough love. I mean, you don't hear a lot about David Wright. I mean, and you just went over it, Michael. He's leading the National League in RBIs, impressive streak. And he had driven in runs in 7 consecutive games. Had an opportunity yesterday with bases loaded, but didn't get it done. But he's really been a run producer for them so far this year.
And the 1-2 outside.
Like my last day up here, they're really putting me through the ring.
Really making you work. Yep. Last day for this stretch. You'll be back.
Oh, I'm coming back.
Okay.
Just got to take a little break. That's all.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Pulled right by him. Wright goes down on strikes. Well, and here's Paul's favorite part of the game, the game time weather conditions presented by Bigelow Tea. 79 degrees, 46% humidity, not much wind. The forecast is a perfect day for baseball. Final grade, Paul?
Mother Nature did well today. Very strong. I'm going to give her a 9.
All right.
9 for today. A few clouds in the sky, but good day to hit as a hitter. Warm, humid, ball carry well. 9.
Here's Ike Davis. Drove in a run in the first inning yesterday. Drove in David Wright. Pitch outside.
It's funny, Phil Hughes loves to go at people. He has all year. Fastball, good power fastball. But all of a sudden you get a little gun shy when the leadoff hitter takes your first fastball out of the ballpark. So you see that leading off with a curveball, another one.
The 2-0. Count 3-0. Phil Hughes always gets offensive support. So far this year, he's had a great year, 9-1, great ERA. But the Yankees have scored him 95 runs in 12 starts, so that's about 8 runs per game. So I don't think he's very nervous about trailing 1-0 here, but he's facing a top-flight pitcher in Mike Pelfrey as well. And the 3-1. Count is full.
You see a little hop in the step for all the Mets players, especially you come out today, you get off to a good start, lead off home run, but you got to realize everybody is concerned about the Yankees, and they haven't scored runs the past few days. I mean, for the Mets to come in here and win a game, they should come in here and win a game. They're going through the best time they've gone through all year, and all of a sudden the Yankees have had a couple down days, but you know, you cannot look past it, you know, what the big thing is, and that's where the Yankees will be in October.
And where they are right now, Paul, and Joe mentioned this at the start of our broadcast, yeah, they're tied for the best record in baseball. They're tied for first place in their division with the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, have they hit a little bit of a speed bump? Yes. You do have to look at the overall picture, and they still have the best record in the game. They've just had 3 straight games where the bats have been slumbering just a bit. 3-2. High fly ball, center field. Granderson is right there, and that'll do it. The Mets get a run on Jose Reyes' leadoff home run into the short porch in right. Took a fastball and drove it for a home run. Mets won. Yankees coming back. Often plays left field. Nick Swisher's at right, batting second. Batting third and playing first base, Mark Teixeira. Alex Rodriguez, the DH, will clean up. Batting fifth and playing second base, Robinson Cano. Jorge Posada will catch at bat six. Batting seventh, playing center field, Curtis Granderson. Ramiro Pena takes over at shortstop for Jeter. He's going to bat eighth. And batting ninth and playing third base, Kevin Russo. And there's Mike Pelfrey, and he has put together quite a season. 13 starts, 9-1, 2.39, 75 hits in just under 87 innings, and 243 opponents hit against him. Let's take a look now at the Jeep pitcher's scouting report on Mike Pelfrey.
Well, finally, I mean, the Mets have waited a few years. He hasn't been this type of pitcher, but all of a sudden he's bloomed into what they thought he could be. Two's the limit. I mean, he's allowed 2 runs or less in 10 of his 14 starts this year, so he's been extremely consistent. And after Ubaldo, other than Ubaldo Jimenez out in Colorado, who's 13-1 or 13-1 with a 1.15 ERA, he's probably the second best pitcher in the National League.
And he deals a strike to Brett Gardner. They've been waiting for Pelfrey. He had a rough season last year, and all of a sudden it's come together for him. And many people believe, and I'm one of those people, that he's now more of the Mets ace than Johan Santana, the way Santana has been pitching. Santana's still a very wily, crafty veteran on the mound, but his stuff is not the same as it was when he was with the Twins. Pelfrey's got swing and miss ability.
You see what you need 5 pitchers, obviously, to get to the playoffs. You need a good starting rotation, but you know, if you look what the Yankees did, once you get to that playoff, if you have 3 dominant pitchers, you can get through the playoffs, you can get through the World Series if they're all on.
Well, many people thought the Mets had the 2 pitchers in Santana and Pelfrey. Now, you could probably get through some postseason series with just 2 pitchers, but did they have 3, 4, and 5? Well, Jonathan Neese, R.A. Dickey, and last night's starter Takahashi, they've really picked up the slack, and they've given them solid starts every single time out. Brett Gardner leads off with a bloop single to left field. Nice piece of hitting by Gardner. And now Gardner is obviously a threat to run. Well, we just brought it up. It's time now for the Toyota Text Poll. Today's question is Mike Pelfrey now the ace of the Mets pitching staff? You can text your vote to 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply. And your choices are either 1 yes or 2 no. I look at an ace this way, Paul. If you're managing the team and your life depended on whether that game was won or lost, would you feel more comfortable with Mike Pelfrey starting or the Johan Santana starting?
Yeah, I think that you go with the veteran a little bit more because he's got that experience in like a 7th game of a World Series, or you say if your life depended on it. An experienced pitcher can always help.
See, I would go with Pelfrey, I think.
Is that right?
Yep.
I guess one of us is done.
One of us is gone. Pitch the Swisher outside, 1-0.
See Pelfrey really taking an eye of Gardner, slide stepping also. And this is more the the National League mentality, where a lot more stolen bases. Really have to take care of holding runners.
Nick Swisher made the final out of the game last night. He was the tying runner to play against K-Rod, bases loaded. And fouled out to David Wright to end the contest. Yankees lost that one 4-0. Swisher had 2 hits in last night's game. Has put together a very nice season.
All right, Michael, no, so we've been over with the Mets.
Right.
So let's go to the same situation with the Yankees. In that do-or-die game, are you taking Hughes now, or are you taking Sabathia, who's done in the past?
I'm taking Pettit. My life depended on it.
Wow, you just went off the card.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yep. Now, the key is, these guys, if it's going to be in October, they're going to be pitching differently right around that. But I think Andy Pettit right now is the Yankees' most reliable starter.
Most consistent. Oh, I would agree 100%. Even his losses are like they were the other night. I mean, he comes out of the game 2-1, threw the ball great.
Runner goes. That one is drilled to right field. It is a base hit. It'll go up against the wall. Gardner motoring to third. They're going to hold him right there, and Nick Swisher holds it first with a single. So the Yankees are set up. Runners on the corners and nobody out.
Again, a lot of people worried about the offense. First two guys out of the box. Gardner the good at bat. Swisher with a good at bat, pulling the ball. Gardner looks back, has to pick it up, make sure that it's not going to be played. All of a sudden, the Yankees in the first inning. Pelfrey in trouble.
Here's Teixeira. Teixeira yesterday. Joe Girardi liked the way he swung the bat. He was 1 for 4, but he said, I thought he had good cuts, and Joe insists. And as a manager, you have to have faith that Teixeira is going to come around. He said, I don't care what his numbers are. I know what he's done in the past. He's going to do it again.
These are the at-bats are going to do that, to bring that RBI total up. Right there, see the double play. You won't get credit for one, but those are the situations when you're struggling that you get the job done. You get a fly ball.
He does not get an RBI on that, obviously, but the Yankees do get the run. It's tied at 1. Let's take a look at the Mets defense, brought to you by Mercedes. In the outfield, Bay, Pagan, and Francoeur. Left to right. Infield, Wright, Reyes, Cora, and Davis. Third to first, Blanco behind the plate. Pelfrey is on the mound. Here's Alex Rodriguez. Alex is the DH today. Nothing's wrong, but they don't want to put too much stress on the hip flexor problem, so he played in the field last night. We wondered at the end of the game what he and Girardi were talking about on the bench. That's what they were talking about, already setting up today that Alex would play, but he'd be the DH.
Well, you made a good point yesterday, Michael, and you're going to go on after tomorrow's game. You're going to go out to the West Coast, and you're not going to have a DH. So you use these games, these last couple games where you have a DH in American League Park to your advantage. Get guys, the days off that you think they're going to need. Because once you go out to the West Coast, to Arizona and LA, your pitcher hits, you lose your DH. And for Alex to play, he's got to play third base. For Jorge to play, he's going to have to play behind the plate. See how Michael gave a little credit. Made a good point.
Wow.
Huh?
I'm amazed.
Took a week, but you made a real good point last night.
There's a ground ball short. Reyes will gun down A-Rod. So the Yankees, they had first and third and nobody out. They did get a run, but that's all they got. And we have ourselves a tie game as we go to the second. games on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Thursday's an off day, and then 3 games against the Dodgers and Joe Torre in Los Angeles. Jason Bay.
It's funny because you say Joe Torre, and the first thing that came to my mind is, Mike, I bet you'll get him on your pregame show.
Oh,
you don't have that anymore. Remember your little cassette that you used to go around with your little pregame?
I think Joe will probably turn me down, Paul. That's just my guess, yeah. There's a strike. Now, yesterday was very weird at Fenway Park. Manny Ramirez got booed. Joe Torre got cheered.
And I heard that Roger Clemens was in the ballpark.
Was in the ballpark, but I don't think that the majority of fans really knew that. There's a line drive base hit to left field. He was sitting atop the monster seats.
The monster seats, huh? With glasses and a hat on?
I don't know. It's certainly not inconspicuous to sit up on the monster seats.
Well, I understand he was in town for a golf tournament, so ended up going to the game. So Joe Torre got cheered.
And Manny Ramirez, it was kind of half and half. It wasn't all boos.
Yeah.
It was kind of half and half. Here's Chris Carter. And there's a strike. Shows you the world's going upside down.
I think so. I'm trying to figure all that out.
That one is chopped to short. There's one, and there's 2. A 6-6-3 double play. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV, the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes.
Again, just a tailor-made. Good decision here. Don't flip the ball to Cano. Take care of it yourself. The less hands that ball touches, the easier that play is.
Here's Jeff Francoeur. He hits a high fly ball, shallow right center. Nick Swisher is there, and a fairly easy inning for Phil Hughes. No runs a hit, and nobody left. Go to the second, 1-1. Team Scouting Report brought to you by Panasonic.
Like you didn't know this or something. I said, you know, you're hottest in June if you don't realize it. 13-2 in June. Pretty good record. July shopping, they could be one of those teams on the brink of trying to win a division. Because if you think about it, once you get past their 2 aces, their pitching staff is, it's kind of an uncertainty. July shopping, we talked about that. After aces, we talked about that. We got it all figured out, Mike.
You got it right there. So Jerry's happy with what he heard from you, and now we go to the bottom of the second. Robinson Cano against Mike Pelfrey. And there's a base hit. Cano was held hitless yesterday, snapping his 10-game hitting streak. But he starts another one right there with a leadoff single.
Again, right back to what he does best. They really busted him inside early in the game yesterday, but he stayed out over the plate that time. Shooting that ball to left field.
Here's Posada. 6-game hitting streak for Posada. 7 hits and 18 at-bats. And Pelfrey deals. 1-0. Yankees already 3 hits against Pelfrey. Foul back.
You see Pelfrey, much like Hughes, going after hitters, and that comes with confidence. It's come from picking up the morning paper and seeing your name written as 9-1. I've been successful. Don't change anything. Continue to go after hitters. Hasn't got into a lot of strikeout counts where he can, use that kind of split finger that he uses to try to get guys out.
Pelfrey against the Yankees on May 22nd. 6 hits in 6 innings, gave up 1 run. Posada's done great here at the new ballpark this year. 375 hitter at home, 214 on the road. High fly ball, left field line. Bay giving it a look. And that's all he gives it as it makes the stands. Posada back behind the plate. In all likelihood, he will not be there tomorrow. They don't want to go back-to-back with him. But again, that's going to have to be solved on the West Coast when the Yankees play 2 interleague series without the DH. So they're going to have to get Alex Rodriguez at third every day, and they're going to have to get Posada to be able to play behind the plate every day.
See Robbie getting back a little closer to the look, but early in the game, this field is, you water it down for the game early in the game. Footing progressively kind of gets better as the game goes on. Infielders love it when it's wet, like that, so you don't get any chops. When the ball stays down for you.
Ballpark looks great. Hard to find empty seats around the yard. Last night it was jammed to the gills. 49,000 plus, a sellout. Looks like the same deal today. Posada really hanging in there.
So that's that split-fingered fastball there. It goes to about 85 from his 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Good movement down and away. Jorge just gets a piece of it. You come to think about it, Michael, the second year of a stadium, you've had absolutely no problems with the field. And, a lot of new stadiums that open up, everything is beautiful, but the main part of it, the field itself, can go through a growing period or just an adjustment of a new field. We've had none whatsoever here. Remember that Monday night football game in Pittsburgh when this big turfs, the big old hunks of turf were clumps of, it looked like a polo ground when they were done. It's just, like I said, the grounds crew and what they've done here, in the first couple of years of the stadium, it's been great.
Pelfrey paying a lot of attention to Cano, who really doesn't run that much.
Leiter's had curbs the lead over there.
Yes.
Just keeps throwing over there. Might get that half step.
Swing and a miss. Teixeira. He wins that battle.
I mean, you see that movement of that ball is almost like a backup curveball, but it's the arm speed, it's a split finger, it's the uncertainty from a hitter because you don't pick it up real well.
Now that's more the split finger than what we saw from Contreras, which really was the fork ball. Here's Curtis Granderson. Big moment in the game yesterday. Runner at second base, nobody out. Granderson pinch hitting for Huffman. And they bring in Feliciano, and Granderson could not get the runner over. In fact, he struck out. And the Yankees were trailing just 1-0 at that point. Yankees did not score that run. The 0-1. Grounded to first. Ike Davis is going to go to second for the force. Back to first, not in time.
You know, the key word to that thing was Feliciano. I mean, he threw the ball. He came in last night with great stuff. You see, the toughest double play right here. A lot of time. Anderson beats it out. Davis does the number one thing. Give yourself an angle. He almost throws that ball over Cano's shoulder. See Reyes do all he can.
Reyes with a leg kick follow through.
He's got a lot of things going out there as he plays the game. You know, if you had a little mini cam just to keep the camera on him, you'd learn a lot of things that players don't do usually.
And also things that annoy the opposing team.
Yeah, he's got a chance to get under the skin of an opposing player.
And there's a strike. And the only way you stop that is you shut him down. In the old days, it would be stopped in a different way, but that's kind of frowned upon nowadays. The 0-1, which I think is a good thing. I never understood old-time baseball where, you know, you're playing with people's lives, throwing at them like that.
Right.
Mariners always seem to come up in it on you, Paul, when you were a Yankee.
Yeah, that went on for a while.
Yeah.
And it stopped. I mean, one got away from Alito one day and hit Griffey, and all of a sudden it stopped. And, you know, those things you can usually connect the dots between the teams. And, you know, it's been an old thing that's been going on since this game started. So, much less this day and age, but still things do happen.
That's Melito Perez.
I think it also goes back to, it is a game. It is a game just like you played in Little League. But the stakes are a little bit higher when you get to this level. And, certain things just don't get by other teams like they do in other leagues.
Down 3-1 to Pena. We told you how he keeps looking over at Cano. Cano is 19 of 42 on stolen base attempts in his career. And now it's Granderson, I'm sorry. And there's a line drive base hit to the left. He replaced Cano on the force out. Now he moves to second on a single by Pena.
Pena, last game he had against Philadelphia, had a couple really good at-bats. Lined out a couple times, but swinging the bat better, get more opportunities. That ball up in the zone. Try to do too much with it. Lace it to left field. Granderson's on the move. Ball's hit too hard to advance the third.
Now here's Kevin Russo, picked up his first big league hit against the Mets. That was at Citi Field. Pitch outside.
These are the big at-bats for both teams. You've got 2 outs, men in scoring position. Last night we talked about the Yankees 0 for 9 with men in scoring position. Teixeira hits into a double play. gets a run in, but so you're 0 for 10. But these situations can open up a game or keep another team involved.
Popped up. Right field. Francoeur is there, and that'll do it. No runs, 2 more hits, and 2 men left. We go to the 3rd inning. It's a 1-1 game at the stadium. Our Kimberly Jones out on assignment next to the Mets dugout, third base side. Hello, Kimberly.
Hello, Michael and Paul.
Now, Javi yesterday pitched a very good game. He also faced his former teammate, Jeff Francoeur. Were they close?
They were and still are, Michael. And in his post-game, Javi seems so relaxed now. I guess that's what happens when you win 5 of 6 starts, as he has. I talked to Francoeur about Javi. He said earlier this season they talked and exchanged text messages, and Javi was told by Francoeur, oh my.
Nice play by Cano, taking a base hit away from Cora.
Francoeur told Javi, string a couple of good starts together and they'll embrace you up there. Well, that's exactly what happened. He told me that Javi last night reminded him exactly as he pitched last year when they spent half a season together in Atlanta. He said he looks very comfortable. From Francoeur, that's a big compliment, Michael, because though he's a really easygoing, nice guy, Jeff Francoeur tells me he's a country boy still adjusting to New York.
Now, speaking of pitching, A.J. Burnett, I know, did some throwing in the bullpen today. He got hit on a comebacker off his foot in his last start against the Phillies. What's the status of A.J.?
Yeah, well, the status is his side session today went beautifully. That's A.J.'s word, and he is on track to start regularly on Monday. That's the good news, and that's the headline. Here's the backstory. A liner off the bat of Wilson Valdez hit A.J.'s right foot in the 2nd inning Wednesday night. A.J. told me it didn't bother him at all during that start, but the next day it really hurt. He said he was very worried. He came in, had treatment, also got an X-ray that proved negative. They did push that bullpen from Friday to today, but as I mentioned, I already told you the rest of the story. He says all is good, but he is relieved.
Couple of quick injury updates with Jeter and A-Rod. We know Jeter with the foot. That's really all we know. And A-Rod's DHing today, just conservative, right?
Yes, absolutely. And he says he continues to feel better. And also, I asked Jorge before the game about that foot. He said it continues to progress. And good news, guys, seems to me is Jorge told me he doesn't think about the foot at all when he's catching, running, hitting, anything on the field. So sounds like that's really good news as Jorge gets back to full strength.
Now, obviously, you don't just dig for the the big breaking news, but also the human interest story. Here's the 2-2 inside, and you and Mariano Rivera were talking, and ironically enough, we lead into this right during the half inning. on the stadium scoreboard in center field, they showed Paul O'Neill eating a slice of pizza. And what was the conversation that you and Mariano had?
You're welcome, Paul. Mariano and I had some time to kill in the dugout before the game, and Paul walked over. Mariano looked at him. He said, "O'Neill, do you really eat all that food they send to you? They keep sending it and sending it." Well, I enjoyed that conversation immensely, Paul.
It's one of they're using me to set up for all this stuff. You know, just throw my name out there. Next thing you know, we've got food up here, and I'm not even getting a bite of it. Right?
Really?
Good. You say that with a straight face, too.
Well, it's because we're not on camera.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, here's a good one for you, Paul. Mariano agrees you look like you could still play.
Yeah,
So there you go.
Looks are deceiving.
I think you still could.
You too, Kim. You look like you can still play. How's that?
I love that. We have that on tape now.
Kim, we will get you live on the post-game show, not on tape, okay?
Look forward to it, Michael.
All right, that's Kimberly Jones. The count 3-2 on the number 9 batter, Henry Blanco. And the pitch. And Blanco walks, and you never want to walk the number 9 batter. Now, just finishing up that last point, Paul, I'm telling you, this is the 8th straight game, which is a record for you. And every time I'm out and about, that's the thing people ask me, does he really eat that much, or is that an act? And it's not an act.
You know, I went through, 20-some years of playing baseball where everybody else was eating around me, and I was out on the baseball field. Now I'm coming back to enjoy that part of the game. You know, we're seeing it.
Show them that. There you go.
It's just what's left of the first inning, but it is early. But, you know, it's part of just coming to the ballpark, enjoy the game.
I don't begrudge you it, though, but I just don't understand how it's possible that you don't gain weight.
I don't eat like this all the time. It's just when you come to the ballpark.
Just when it's free.
It's on your account. How's that?
Count 1-0. There's a second meal for Paul.
It's a 7th inning stretch.
The 1-0. There's a strike. Reyes hit a home run to lead off the game into the right field seats, and that's the Mets' only run, as the Yankees and the Mets are tied at 1. High fly ball, right field, swisher back, track, wall, leaps. Gone! A 2-run home run for Jose Reyes. And the Mets now lead 3-1.
Another fastball, but this one's up and away from him. He turned on the first one. So he missed the target completely. Notice that a little bit in Phil Hughes' start last time out, where, you know, he's got good enough stuff to miss once in a while. He's that ball just out of the reach of Swisher. Reyes is a hot hitter. Hot hitters don't miss bad pitches.
Swisher with the effort. Just couldn't get it done. Neither could the fan.
Yeah, I think that guy behind him might be injured. Forgot his glove.
So Reyes with his 6th career multi-home run game. That home run his 5th of the year. Sometimes this happens. You give up a home run and then you shy away from the plate, so the count now 3-0 on Pagan. And he walks him on 4 pitches. Posada goes out and talks with Hughes, and here comes Mike Harkey, the acting pitching coach, with Dave Island away from the team for personal reasons. Harkey has a relationship with Hughes, and Hughes was in the bullpen most of last year. Harkey, the bullpen coach. And Phil Hughes is you know, he's 9-1, but his first 6 starts, he was just out of this world great. Last 6 starts, he's won, but an ERA approaching 5, which isn't very good. So now he's giving up 2 home runs here to Reyes.
It hasn't been the stuff. Nothing has changed with the stuff. But if you saw, you know, that last home run to Reyes, that's been the problem. I mean, he's missing his location once in a while. And guys are, you know, our guys are catching up to that fastball a little bit when it's out over the plate.
Count 0-1. The one thing at the beginning of the year that really plagued David Wright, you can get fastballs by him. And we've seen that a lot so far in these first 2 games. You give him a fastball upstairs, he's going to chase it, he's going to swing through it. There was a lot of concern, Paul, at the beginning of the season that Wright was suffering the effects of getting beamed last year by Matt Cain of the Giants. And, you know, people would analyze that he was looking to see if the ball was going to hit him, and then when he knew that it wasn't, then he would go into everything he had to do to make the swing, and he'd be a little bit late.
It's a reality. I mean, whether you want to talk about it or not, it is a reality. You don't have a lot of time.
You ever get hit in the head?
Yeah.
And was it hard to come back the next time?
You know, you think about it in certain situations. It was a left-hander, so obviously the next time you feel because you don't see the ball real off lefty, but you know, you have to get over it because there's no way you can hit thinking about getting hit.
Runner goes. Swung and missed. The throw to second. It's a beauty. Got him. Great throw by Posada.
You said it, Michael. Ball right on the nose there for Georgie. Gets out. It throws quick. Good quick tag by Cano. Important thing here, Robbie out in front of the base makes it easy to receive the ball and not get caught up in the runner and just make a nice quick swipe tag and get out of there. Kind of sell it to the umpire.
Missed outside. Well, it's also bang bang, but he was clearly out. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Little fastball right by him. So Wright has struck out twice. But 2 runs in this inning. In fact, 2 home runs by Jose Reyes in this game. He led off the first inning with a solo shot. Then this inning with a runner on first, he hits one into the seats again. Because of Jose Reyes, it's a 3-1 net lead. The station right outside Yankee Stadium, 161st and river as Brett Gardner leads off against Pelfrey here in the bottom of the third and takes a strike. It's 3-1 Mets, 3-3-0, leading 1-4-0 in front of a jam-packed Yankee Stadium. Gardner singled to left and scored in the first inning. Shows bunt, pulls it back. Count 1-1.
You saw the train there. I got a little question for you today. I was talking to him, on my ride in today. We get off on Fordham Avenue, and we're coming under the Fordham Road.
Right.
And we're coming under, and I looked above us. I'm like, what are we driving under? A bridge? No, that's the subway.
Mm-hmm.
How can the subway be above you? Doesn't the subway mean it's underneath the ground?
You're absolutely right. Those shouldn't be called subways. Those are called L's, elevated trains.
L.
But they do come from the subway. All of those trains at one point or other are underground.
I learned something this weekend. Thank you very much.
Ground ball up the middle and through for a base hit. So Gardner is 2 for 2. That one just squeezed through. Just got past Pelfrey and just got past Reyes.
And Gardner just time and time again is having good at-bats, ball out over the plate. Drive it right back up the middle. Just up an opportunity to get on base, and now use your speed to try to score a run. Couldn't even get that ball in. Yes, Mo.
All right, this is the L now is going to go down underneath in the Bronx, and it's going to go into the tunnel and will become the subway. So the L will turn into the subway.
Kind of like riding Space Mountain. You get started, then you go through the dark tunnels.
Exactly, just like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes just as scary. Cano and 1. Now, you've seen the elevated trains in Chicago, right? On State Street?
I've never ridden them.
Have you ever been on the subway in all years?
Yeah,
I
actually, a few years back when I would come in with the Reds, actually would take the subway out to Old Shea Stadium once in a while.
It's an easy ride from where the team used to stay. Yeah.
Much easier than getting in a car or even waiting for the bus. Didn't have to wait on the traffic. You do get a true education on those trains.
Hot shot, grabbed there by Davis. Took a base hit away. What a play by Ike Davis as Gardner moves to second. Well, I thought that was past the ball.
There's supposed to be a hole over there with a man on first base. Great play by Davis. The important thing of the first baseman is you see him hop off the bag as soon as the pitch goes. A lot of first basemen get lazy and just kind of walk away from the bag, but you got to get off as far as you can to give yourself an opportunity to make plays like this. Good play.
The Yankees came out of the gate in the first inning. Base hit for Gardner. Base hit for Swisher. First and third, nobody out. And a lot of the sting was taken out of that against the Mets when Teixeira banged into a double play. Yes, the run scored, but boom, the rally was then over. So Teixeira has another shot here as he swings and misses over a splitter.
Yeah, there are times, Michael, to that point that, you're very satisfied with producing a run. If you get first and third, maybe your seventh or eighth, ninth hitter up. But, you set up in the first inning, first and third, nobody out. And you've got your 3, 4, 5 guys coming up. You're really expecting to put together a pretty big inning. And you're right, it kind of dampened things with that double play.
4-6-3 double play. One, 2-1. Pelfrey wants a new ball. Yankees have certainly gotten their hits against Pelfrey. 5 hits in just 2 1/3 innings.
The 2 jams that he was in, last inning he got a pop-up with 2 men on. We talked about the double play ball to Teixeira in the first inning, so he's made a couple great pitches when he could get out of a couple jams.
High fly ball, right field. Francoeur back, track, wall, see ya! Tie game! 2-run home run for Teixeira.
very strange how both pitchers are doing the same thing. This is a ball that kind of lays out there, doesn't have a lot of sink on it. Tie ball game, ball ricochets off the stands out into the bullpen.
His eyes lit up at that pitch.
Oh, yeah. And you talk to it, hope it keeps carrying for you.
A-Rod takes a pitch low. That's just the 4th home run that Pelfrey has allowed all season. And that's a big home run for the Yankees. And a hit off the pole that separates the bullpen from those seats right over the scoreboard.
Talk about 2 young phenoms coming into the game, both 9-1. The way things are going, neither of these guys are going to factor in the decision of this game. It seems like when one guy gives up a couple, the other guy can't hold the other team down. So, big 2-run homer by Mark Teixeira.
Do you turn Alex loose on 3-0?
I think you do. I think a veteran hitter, that doesn't mean he's going to swing, but you can usually tell that was a take swing, take pitch. But I think that, you know, most times you'll let veteran hitters decide if they want. Guys don't even want to swing 3-0. They just want to see more pitches.
Here's an interesting stat, Paul. Pelfrey has had such a good year. He has not relinquished a lead all year before today. And this day, he's already relinquished 2. He relinquished 1-0 and 3-1.
I was going into that highlight there of Teixeira's home run. It's really eerie the way things are going. You know, if you give up a run, then the other guy gives up a run. You give up a 2-run homer, the other guy gives up a 2-run homer.
Alex swings and misses. Fastball in on the hands. This moment in Yankees history brought to you by Johnny Walker. Demand greatness in every sip and every season. Johnny Walker, proud sponsor of the New York Yankees back in 1903. Hall of Famer and Yankee legend Lou Gehrig is born in New York City. Proud New Yorker, went to Columbia University and became a legend with the Yankees. Columbia Lou.
Johnny Walker would show up for this one. So.
Identical line scores out there, 1-0-2, 1-0-2 through the first 3. Cano with a soft liner up the middle, grabbed by Reyes, and that will do it. But the Yankees tie the game. A big home run off the back of Mark Teixeira. He needed it. The Yankees needed it. It erases the 2 home runs by Reyes. We go to the 4th, tied at 3. when Tina Martinez singled home Paul O'Neill in the 10th inning. Now the question is, which Mets pitcher gave up the hit? The pitch to Davis is outside.
When a quiz
is about you
and your name's in, you still don't know the answer to that?
You have no clue.
I'll give a guess when I get there because of the situation of the game in the 10th inning, but I don't know that I'm 100% right.
You've kind of etch-a-sketch most of the career out, haven't you? Just shook it, it's off the screen.
I kept a couple really, really good memories, so believe me.
One. It is 13 years ago, Paul.
That's all right. I can remember a home run I hit in Little League. That's a long time, too. Some things just put an imprint in there.
Were you the best kid in Little League?
Not always, because I always played with my brothers who were older. So, when you're the younger brother, you haven't caught up to your brother skill-wise till later, usually.
Count 3-1 on Davis. Grounded to second. Cano gobbles it up. And there's one away in the fourth. Now, for a pitcher like Hughes, he's got to think, what? I just got a reprieve. I've given up 2 home runs to Reyes, and my team has picked me up. And now he's got to pick his team up, and he's got to settle down and throw zeros up.
That's right. You got to start thinking that, hey, I've had my bad innings. Now, if I can get cruising here for 3 or 4 innings, chances are my offense swinging the bat today. They haven't been, it just hadn't been a couple guys. There's been a few guys out there that are putting together some good at-bats. Chances are we're going to score some more runs, but I don't want to put my offense in a position where they're always playing catch-up. I need to throw some zeros up here.
Here's Jason Bay, 5 for 10 lifetime against Phil Hughes. High fly ball, center field. Granderson has room. 2 away.
Jason Bay, you see that, offensively has just average-wise been okay, but power numbers, productive numbers just haven't been there yet. Do you put him in the same kind of mold as Teixeira? Is this one of the years it might be below average, or do you think he's capable of turning this thing around for them?
Well, you know what? You have to look at it this way. I think average-wise he'll be okay. I don't think he's going to hit 30 home runs. So that just might be one of those things. Now, they thought that he would not be swallowed up by Citi Field because a lot of his power's down the line.
Right.
That Citi Field's fair down the line. It's just unfair in the gaps. But he only has 4 home runs.
A lot of times as a hitter, when you know that you have to pull the ball to be productive power-wise, you get a little pull happy. And I think there's nothing worse than going to the plate knowing that you need to pull the ball to hit a home run, and that it makes it very difficult.
It's such a mental game you play because his natural stroke is to hit the ball down the line. But when you start to think I hit the ball down the line,
you go out, you're trying to hook the ball. When you do hit the ball hard, you pull it foul. You roll over a lot of balls for outs.
High pop up, short right. Cano is there, and he makes the play for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning, and it was 10 pitches that Phil Hughes used to do it. 7 when Tino Martinez singled home Paul O'Neill in the 10th. All right, Paul, which Mets pitcher gave up the hit?
I would guess Johnny Franco, maybe, just because it's late in the game.
Let's see.
Oh,
wow.
my goodness.
What a way to go out.
It's time. It's time to go home. When you start just pulling them out of your hat, it's time to go home.
You've had 2 right. You've had 2 right this week. So proud of you. Posada takes a first pitch strike. Posada struck out in the second. Count 1-1.
You know, I could have texted Tino and asked him about that, but it would have taken me too long to send a text out. It takes me a while to punch those things out.
Now, knowing Tino, he probably would have remembered.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think he remembers sequences of pitches.
The hits you remember. There's no doubt about it. You know, it's funny because I asked what we were doing in the pregame. You say we're going to go over that Benitez at bat, and I'm like, well, okay. But immediately, you can put yourself in that position. You remember things like that. You can remember the counts. You can remember the pitches. My wife thinks I'm crazy. I mean, your mind works that way as an athlete. And that's why a lot of times you talk about scouting reports. You keep scouting reports in your head. You really do. You remember certain ways that guys got you out. And pitchers are the same way. I mean, if you hit a fastball in for a home run, chances are you're not going to see that fastball in from a pitcher the rest of the year.
Give me a scouting report on Mike Messina when he pitched against you with the Orioles.
To the Orioles, I was in the days where you got that ball a little bit off the plate. He would fastball away to death, and every once in a while he would start me off in the count with a curveball. And I used to look curveball a lot off of him early in the count.
Now, Pelfrey's lost the strike zone a little bit. He walks Posada now 1-0 on grounders, and that's rare because you said you usually sack fastball all the time.
Yeah, but, you know, his curveball was the big up and down one, so it didn't break in on you, so you could look out over the plate, which was my approach, and you didn't have to adjust anything.
Three game. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Runner at first. 1-0 count. Now it's 2-0. We did okay against Messina. 14 for 44 with a home run. That's 318.
Most good pitcher. You knew he, control-wise, he was one of the best at hitting spots.
Pelfrey hits that spot on the outside corner, 2-1.
You know, you look at the score here, 3-3, and you look at how Hughes has gone through things, and you look at how Pelfrey has gone through it. And to me, it looks like Pelfrey is struggling a little bit more than Hughes. You know, he's not getting his strikeouts. He's getting behind some hitters. Last inning, probably Hughes' best inning of the game. So if you're a Yankee fan, you got to feel like your pitcher's starting to get better, and Pelfrey still just does not have his A stuff right now. You get that feeling, Michael?
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel it looks like Hughes has settled down a little bit. Pelfrey's still feeling his way. The 2-2. Driven down the left field line, but it slices foul. Paul, I've always wondered this. Take me into the mind of Ramiro Pena now. Are you just practicing absent-mindedly swinging, or are you studying that pitcher and trying to see what he's going to do to you?
You're also studying what kind of situation you could be in as a hitter. I mean, if he makes an out here, I'm going to try to pull the ball in the hole. If he gets a hit, I'm up in a first and third situation. So those are what's going through your head also.
High fly ball down the right field line. Francoeur into the corner near the line. And he runs out of room.
It's very easy from back there to kind of time your rhythm of, how you're going to take pitches from the on-deck circle. But, the situation that you're going to be in, it could be a matter of seconds, could be a couple minutes. Those are starting to go through your mind also. if you think of the things that could go on here, Granderson gets on first and second, you could be bunting. First and third, you're going to need a sacrifice fly. So there's several different scenarios that can happen here real quick.
That one's driven deep to right. There it goes. See ya. Two-run home run for Curtis Granderson. And the Yankees have taken a 5-3 lead.
Or you could be shaking hands at home plate. And that's always a good thing, too.
Well, Paul, it looks like the Yankee offense has kind of awakened.
Yeah, again, Pelfrey, you see this ball just kind of hang out over the plate. No sharp break on it. Curtis Granderson last night got most of the night off, but ended up getting a big hit.
Let's take a look at the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast from David Wright's view.
No doubter. Little left-handed curveball slider, whatever you want to call it, when it kind of hangs out on the inside corner.
And Pelfrey knew immediately.
Just did not get the pitch where it belonged.
It's amazing how soon pitchers know. Because when Andy Pettit gave up that home run to Victorino, you see how the offense has picked it up today, he said that the moment he let go of the pitch, he knew that he'd made a mistake.
Didn't quite get it in there. Yeah. And vice versa for the hitter. I mean, before the ball even leaves the bat, I mean, you feel that this solid contact. You know you got it. And most of the time, you know it's a home run in a split second.
First out of the inning, Pena flies out to Bay. Talking it over with Marcus Timms, who's on the DL with a tweaked hamstring problem. So 6th home run for Granderson at 30 last year for the Detroit Tigers. Remember, he's also missed about a month, Granderson did, with a groin injury. So how unusual is it for Pelfrey to give up home runs? He gave up a 2-run shot to Teixeira in the 3rd, a 2-run shot here to Granderson in the 4th. Before Teixeira's, he had gone 42 straight innings without allowing a home run. Grounded to first, and Russo retired when Davis steps on the bag. I think Davis forgot how many outs there were. Looked like he was running off the field. Well, there's a shot of the Mohegan Sun Sports Bar situated in center field in Yankee Stadium. The Mohegan Sun Sports Bar is a great place to gather and enjoy the game.
Let's not have many chairs out there. Every time we get a little shot out there, everybody's standing up.
You know what? That's a good point. I think there's those high, like, bar tables. That's what it is. And there are 2 rows of seats lower down. There are the seats. There you go. There are the seats.
You learned, we talked about that's one of the places you and I haven't been to in the new ballpark. Let's take a stroll out there. We'll do a segment 2 up in Mohegan Sun.
When's your next time back?
Huh?
When's your next time back? Sometime in July?
In July.
All right. How you doing? The 1-1. 2-1. So the Yankees have blasted 7 hits and 2 home runs off Pelfrey so far. One of the best pitchers in baseball this year. And the Mets already get their bullpen up. Fernando Nieve. The 2-1. And the count 3-1. The 3-1. Gardner trying to get on, works the count full at 3-2. 73 pitches for Pelfrey here. 2 outs in the 4th inning. Father's Day is tomorrow, so you better get him a gift, kid. We got you some pretty good seats to the game. Popped up. David Wright with the long run and runs out of room. I always wondered, Paul, you have 3 kids. Little kids, right? When they point at stuff, don't you ever wonder when they're not able to talk? What are they pointing at?
It's like, what are you looking at? Yeah. The game's out here, but it's the view and the beauty of kids. They just there's just everything. They're exploring everything. I thought you were going to ask me about the Father's Day things, and some of the greatest gifts you'll ever get in the world, Michael, are the homemade Father's Day cards from your 2-year-olds and your 3-year-olds.
Ground ball is short. And that will do it. We're going to hear more about that in a second. But the Yankees take the lead. A 2-run shot off the bat of Curtis Granderson. Mike Pelfrey's allowed 2-run home runs, and the Yankees lead 5-3 as we go to the 5th. Thank you, Bob. We will talk to Bob a little bit later on, and then the post game as well. Jeff Francoeur swings for the first pitch of the 5th inning. Now, we told you that all year Pelfrey had not relinquished the lead, and he relinquished 2 so far. Well, on the flip side, all year, Phil Hughes has yet to relinquish a lead. So Joe Girardi was asked by Kim Jones about it today, and Joe said he learned how to pitch with a lead last year out of the bullpen. And there's a confidence factor and a stuff factor. He's got good stuff. The 0-2. High.
You come in with a record of 9-1 in both of these guys. I mean, you haven't done much wrong, to tell you the truth, stat-wise.
I just got a text, Paul, from our boss, John Filippelli.
Yeah?
And, you said your next broadcast is July, and he wanted to know, is it this July?
Flip knows the schedule better than I do. I said July because I didn't know the exact date, but it is in July.
Francoeur swings and misses. Hey, cast your Scott's All-Star ballot at Lowe's and enter to win a VIP All-Star experience. Compliments of Scott's.
Trying real hard to not screw this up today, Mike. That guy who texted you, that John Filippelli fella.
Yeah.
He could take you right off the schedule as soon as he can put you on,
I get that feeling, yeah. Here's Alex Cora lined out sharply to Cano in the 3rd. Count 1-0. pitch is high.
You're getting texts from the boss saying, you know, this is good or this is right. I get texts from my wife and kids on how nice the pool is and what should they eat for lunch and things like that.
Flip actually just texted me as well and said he has a great pool as well.
Yeah.
The 2-0. There's a strike. It seemed almost, Paul, as if Hughes was a bit tentative in the first inning or so. But now he seems confident and he's throwing his pitches for strikes.
Yeah, you know, it's funny how a leadoff home run against your fastball, all of a sudden it's like, you know, do I not have a good fastball? But, you know, you never get away from your strength. And if you'll go back to his starts this year, he's always had that fastball that he can throw by people, even in fastball counts. It's more of location. And if you look at the home runs, you know, he usually missed on his location. He's got to get back to just hitting the glove. And he's really done that the past couple innings.
Looped into shallow left center and a base hit for Alex Cora.
As soon as I say that, you see that Jorge's glove, you know, you see the target and you see his glove start to reach up into the zone. And you want the ball here and you see the ball go up in there. And it's just, it doesn't take much to become a good pitch and then vice versa, a good pitch for a hitter to hit. It seems like he's not, you know, when he's getting that inside target, he's not missing in off the plate. He's always missing out over the plate. And as a pitcher, that's where you can get hurt. If you're going to throw inside, miss inside. And as soon as you start, you know, leaving and tailing that ball out over the middle of the plate, that's where you can get in trouble.
Count 1-0 to Blanco. Blanco had a walk in the third that really ended up hurting Hughes because that led to Jose Reyes' 2-run home run. Reyes 2 for 2 today with 2 home runs. Fly ball, shallow left. Gardner's there. It might have the double play, but the throw was a little off, and I don't think that Gardner saw that Cora was so far off the bag. I think Cora just read that the wrong way, Paul.
Yeah, every once in a while, and even from the sound up here, I thought he hit it a little bit better than that.
Crowd boos as Jose Reyes comes up. Let's take a look at this.
You can tell by Blanco, he knew he didn't get it.
I could see there that Gardner was surprised that Cora was so far off. Let's see if he read it the wrong way. Really? I think he just pushed the envelope, right, Paul?
You just get a little too far before you realize, hey, you know, I do need to get back.
Count 1-0 to Reyes. So, okay, how do you go to Reyes now? You've given up 2 home runs. If you're Hughes, what are you thinking now?
Well, again, you go back to your strength, which is your fastball, but you have to locate your fastball. And, you know, if we go back and show his second home run, I mean, he missed his target by a foot. And that's why he gave up the home run. It wasn't a pitch selection. It was a good curveball.
All right, here's the first home run, Paul.
First home run is a get-me-over fastball to a leadoff hitter early in the game. Bam, okay, home run. But watch that. That ball missed all the way across the plate. Again, it wasn't the pitch selection there. It wasn't the fastball. It was missing out over the plate instead on the inside corner.
And then when you miss location, then you start to guide, and then you miss location even more.
Yeah, pitchers never want to give up fastball home runs because then they doubt themselves. And again, that ball, you see Georgie started inside. That ball ended up here all the way across the plate and up. The hitter's dream. That ball right there is right on the target, right on the outside corner. You're not going to get hurt with that pitch at 94. Again, we talked about it. When you look at his stats, he's a hot hitter. You know, if you're not a hot hitter, you'll foul off some pitches. When you're a hot hitter and the pitcher makes a mistake, you hit it.
High fly ball, left field side, giving chase. Gardner runs out of room. And the 2-2. He struck him out. Off-speed pitch. And he strikes out Reyes for the final out of the fifth. No runs ahead, no errors, one man left. The end of 4 1/2, we're halfway through. Yankees up by 2. At 58.772. Here's how you voted. Close. 53% say yes, he is. So they agree with me and they disagree with O'Neill. There's a strike to Swisher.
Couldn't wait for the end of that poll, could you? Eyes, you know how you saw Teixeira's eyes light up when he hit that homer? Eyes just lit up when that poll showed up there.
Count 1-1.
Again, Pelfrey, just inning after inning, you're looking for that one inning. If you're Jerry Manuel, just that, you look like he gets back into a rhythm, but right back at it. And hitters count. Swisher's had 2 good at bats off of him today.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. The 2-1. Hot shot towards second. Knocks down Cora, stays with it. Away. Boy, Swisher's hit the ball hard 3 times, and he's just 1 for 3.
See, last night we talked about as an infielder, Robbie Cano kind of had the same play. A lot of times you got to know what to do to get an easier hop. Not that this is easy. But you stand your ground and actually go back to get the ball up shoulder high where you can handle it. Try not to run yourself into a short hop.
Teixeira with a fly ball to center. Pagan puts it away. Here's Alex Rodriguez, who is 0 for 2 against Pelfrey. He's also 5 for his last 33. Looped into right field. And Francoeur makes the play for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. We played 5, a 6-pitch inning for Pelfrey. Yankees lead 5-3. membership card, a World Series Championship nylon banner, a World Championship coin, a New York Yankees cap, special ticket discounts, and other exclusive fan club items. Now, if you'd like to join, just call 1-800-GO-YANKS. Log on to Yankees.com. Angel Pagan takes a pitch out of the strike zone, 1-0. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Yankees lead 5-3 as we go to the 6th. And a wave at that pitch right there by Pagan, 1-1. It'll be Pagan, Wright, and Davis against Hughes. The 2-1. Now, his fastball, Paul, it seems like it plays faster than the number.
Yeah, you saw that at the end. I mean, that's 91. That's very hittable up in the zone, but it seems like right before it gets into the hitting zone, it has a little jump to it or a little hop. It's usually how the pitcher finishes the ball. You get that extra little life at the end of the pitch.
2-2. Mets got a run in the first. Yankees answered with a run of their own. The Mets got 2 in the third. The Yankees got 2 back in the bottom of the third. Then a 2-run homer by Granderson in the 4th inning is the difference in this game. Yankees lead 5-3. Hughes against Pelfrey. A battle of pitchers with 9-1 records. Today's game, this is an amazing stat, will be only the second in Major League history in which both starting pitchers had at least 9 wins for the season and a winning percentage of 900 or higher. The only other such game was on June 22nd back in 1900 when Brooklyn's Joe McGinty faced Philadelphia's Bill Bernard at the Baker Ball, with both pitchers entering the game with 12-1 records.
It took a while to look up.
Oh, I can't even imagine that Elias could come up with this. Now, you might wonder how they did. Well, McGinty gave up 5 runs in 6 innings, and Bernhard gave up 7 runs in 3 innings. And neither was involved in the decision, which was awarded to Brooklyn on a forfeit.
A forfeit?
A forfeit. I don't think that's one that would come down this way.
Take your gloves and just go home. I quit in the middle of a game?
Well, that game in 1900 was not on television.
Yeah, that's true. No advertisers to pay. You talk about scores. You know, I'm not the biggest of soccer fans, but you're playing the World Cup, right? How can the game end in a tie? You play for hours and it's a tie. Well, nobody won.
Only in the group stages. Later on, when they're playing,
we'll have a winner.
Yes, well, they even have shootouts.
Yeah. All right, I feel much better about that.
Because you get 1 point for a tie and 3 points for a win.
I'm not a big fan of the tie. How about you?
I don't like ties. I know you don't even like to wear them. Still using Yesmo.
Late life comes from that last instance right before it leaves his fingertips, and if you'll watch Mariano, that cut is right at the end. Just you call it the finish, but it's just right when it leaves the fingertips. And if you have that extra little drive to it, those seams do a little more life on the ball.
Hot shot up the middle. Pagan wins that battle. If you think that this was a good matchup pitching-wise, tomorrow's starting pitchers will tell you this could be better. It's brought to you by Fios TV, Internet, and Phone. This beyond cable. This is Fios. 2 Cy Young Award winners, Johan Santana against CC Sabathia. Neither has pitched as well as they would want to, but certainly they've done a nice job this year, and our coverage will begin at noon on Yes. And that's with the BP show. 12:30 is the pregame show, and 1:08 will be first pitch, thrown by that man, CC Sabathia. Here's David Wright. first, chasing Pagan back. Pagan won a 10-pitch battle with Hughes.
Every once in a while, you don't see a lot of guys, live. You see him on TV, but Pagan, solid player, puts together good at bats. Does a good job in the field.
That one's popped up off the bat of David Wright. Robinson Cano makes the catch.
I'm trying to figure out what Pagan was doing there, because he was almost waiting to see if Robbie's going to catch that ball. There's no need for it. It's an infield fly roll, and you could actually get doubled off here.
No, there's no infield fly rule there. It has to be 2 runners on.
Oh, is that okay?
Yeah, because they make you run hard to first base, and if he drops the ball, all they do is exchange runners.
You're right. I was reading Pagan thinking you better not get off too far, because Robbie's got that quick release, that little delivery to double him off.
And the fact, Paul, that there was no infield fly there, it didn't make sense why he's that far off the base.
Yeah.
I mean, if Cano drops the ball, they're going to get the force at second anyway, no matter how far off first base he is. You talk about Pagan, and a lot of people have been impressed by how he plays, Paul. And we talked about this yesterday. They've got a dilemma if and when Carlos Beltran gets back. Well, who do you sit down? Do you sit down Pagan, or do you sit down Francoeur? Well, they have another dilemma. And Jerry Manuel, the Met manager, talked about it before the game and actually opened up a little bit of a can of worms. John Maine had a rehab start yesterday. He might have another one. And Maine is a starter. Jerry Manuel said, I will not put him in the bullpen. So they said, well, does Maine need another start? He said, yes. And they said, well, when Maine comes back, are you going to take Takahashi out of the rotation? Absolutely not. Well, then where's Maine going? You're not taking out Dickey at 5-0. You're not taking out Nice, who's pitched great. So somebody said, well, when would he pitch? He said, maybe I'll pitch him on off days, and then cackle.
So in other words, he didn't want to tip his cap of what he's going to do, but he likes the way Takahashi's throwing the ball.
Well, here are the starters that the Mets have right now. Takahashi 6-2. And the 9-1 with Pelfrey today. And Santana Nice has pitched well after the DL stint. Dickey's been a revelation at 5-0. I also don't think Jerry's the biggest fan of John Maine. So I think if he had his druthers, he wouldn't touch that rotation now, the way they're pitching.
And Takahashi's beat the Yankees twice. Did he get the win in Citi Field? I know he's
no, they lost that game, but he didn't get the loss.
He's pitched well against them twice, 12 shutout innings. So, you got to respect what he's done.
Manuel said he just knows how to pitch. He knows what he's doing out there. Knows how to read the bat. The 2-2. And that's something that David Cone was really good at. He knew how to read the bat as the ball gets away, and Posada allows Pagan to go to second.
Yeah, what you're talking about, a lot of pitchers will just look into the catcher, get your signal, and throw your pitch. But some pitchers, you see this ball that's kind of ate up Georgie, the hard slider down in the dirt. It ended up with the umpire.
That's heads-up base running by Pagan. And they call that a wild pitch.
But again, back to your point, a lot of pitchers will see and can notice how hitters are going about trying to hit them instead of just staring at the catchers and looking what fingers he puts down.
3-2 to Ike Davis, and Davis works a walk.
You talk about a big breaking ball. A lot of 3-2 breaking balls, you kind of take a little bit off of them just to fool the hitter. That was a hard breaking ball.
So Harkey's going to come out and talk with Hughes. This is one more look at the wild pitch. You'll see it bangs off of Posada, and then the ump kind of has it in his breadbasket and then drops it. By the time Posada found it, well, Pagan was already at second.
A good rule of thumb is as a runner on first base, always assume that during the count he's going to throw a ball into the dirt, and it's got to be a reaction. As soon as you see the ball in the dirt, you're gone. You get caught flat-footed. A lot of times you can't steal that extra base.
There's a ground ball at third. There's one. And there's two. They double up Jason Bay. So Bay, who has always given Phil Hughes trouble, he bangs into an around the horn 5-4-3 double play. We go to the bottom of the sixth. Yankees are leading this one by a score of 5-3. Granderson goes health food shopping, plus get catching tips from Francisco Cervelli. It's all today after the postgame, and it's only on Yes. Robbie Cano again shows bunt and takes pitch outside. He's been doing that over the last couple of days.
Did you help Granderson on that health food shopping list? Huh?
That's the wrong guy to go health food shopping with. Now, at the middle of this double play, you watch Cano deliver the ball, Paul, and then give a very high, exaggerated Juan Marichal leg kick. Now, you wonder, was that an answer to what Jose Reyes did earlier in the game, where he did the same thing? Now, Reyes doesn't even have to kick there. I don't know why he did it, but no, maybe they're just showing off for each other. That was Cano sliding in when Reyes did the kick.
You'll see most guys kind of give a little jump in case the guys are coming in with their spikes up. But Cano's talked about his arm strength from down that little flip throw it's amazing.
Almost looks like a left-handed pitcher the way his leg is up there.
It's like that little dude on Karate Kid, Will Smith's son.
Jaden Smith. And Cano works a walk. Now here's my trivia question for you. Who was the original Karate Kid?
What's that guy's name?
Come on, you're there. You're right there.
Chachi.
Ralph Macchio. Pretty good. I'm going to give you that. Yeah, Chachi was Scott Baio, but sounded like Macchio. But you got it. You're good with trivia today. Here's Posada, 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Cano leads off first. Swings at the first pitch and lofts it to left center. Bay is there, and he'll put it away.
Take that test in high school where you know the answer, kind of like that, and you just kind of scribble the last name so you kind of explain it to the teacher later.
I've never done that.
Oh,
no.
You just printed it out because you knew it, right?
Well, here's Granderson. His home run in the 4th inning is now the difference in this game. A 2-run shot that broke a 3-3 tie.
It was a little hanging breaking ball just on the end. Didn't quite get off the plate inside. We go with Cano again at first base. Pelfrey got a bad scouting report on his base stealing threat.
19 of 42. Here's a difference in the game, Paul.
Yeah, 4th inning, had a little breaking ball that just kind of hung out over the plate. Left-hander's dream in Yankee Stadium. All you got to do is put a good swing on it.
Count 2-0. Henry Mejia warming for the Mets. 20-year-old hard-throwing right-hander. A starter by trade, but moved to the bullpen out of necessity for the Mets. The 2-0. Foul back.
Pelfrey knows he doesn't have his best stuff today, but he's battling to try to get that team to the 7th inning. Keep them close, couple runs down right now, but you're a big hit away from still trying to win this game.
And we advertise this as a big-time pitching matchup. Here are the numbers so far. Phil used 5 hits in 6 innings, 3 runs, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. And Pelfrey 7 hits, 5 runs, and 5 in the 3rd, with 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. Also coming into this game, Pelfrey had the 2nd longest current home runless streak. Josh Johnson of the Marlins had gone 51 and a 3rd, and Pelfrey was 39 and 2/3. So Granderson works a walk, 2nd walk this inning, and that's going to bring in Worth into the mound. Unusual feeling for Pelfrey because he's been so lights out all year, and he was really struggling today. But to his credit, Paul, he's kept the game manageable. He certainly has not gotten the Mets out of the ballgame.
You said he's been good all year, Michael, in the pregame scouting report. I mean, he's allowed 2 runs or fewer, 10 of the 14 starts. I mean, that's 10 games that unbelievable chance of winning in baseball today, only giving up 2 runs as a starting pitcher. These are the big at-bats we went over it earlier. Pelfrey usually has a knack of getting out of these innings. Big opportunity for Pena to try to add to this lead.
Pena's 1 for 2.
Good split finger there. A lot of times you use that as a strikeout pitch, but when you're struggling, especially in big situations with men in scoring position, you go to that pitch early in the count. You're kind of afraid to give that hitter a pitch he can handle early, try to bust this game open.
Dribbled back to the mound. Bobbled there for a moment, and he lost the out at 2nd, so Pena is out at 1st, and the runners move up. Big at bat now for Kevin Russo. Well, we're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Yankees are leading 5-3, along with Paul O'Neill and Kimberly Jones. I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball on the Yes Network, and we certainly thank you for spending part of your Saturday afternoon with us. Those are our pictures. Nice suit by Paul. I think it's gold. It's like a Century 21 guy there.
That's right. That's a dated picture.
Big at bat for Kevin Russo. This is a kind of a game changer right here if he can drive in these 2 runs. There's a strike.
Talked about some of the injuries that the Yankees have, and you look at this at bat. I mean, Pelfrey gets in trouble, but then all of a sudden he's got Pena and Russo, guys that aren't accustomed to being in these situations, aren't accustomed to being in the lineup even. You know, with some of the injuries, you know, you're getting guys in situations and at bats, big at bats, that you're used to seeing Jeter and then guys like that come through.
That one's chopped over the middle, charging Reyes. He fields, fires, got him. He just got the hustling Russo on a nice play, charging in by Jose Reyes. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We go to the 7th after this nice play by Reyes. Yankees lead 5-3. And 3 runs batted in. He's been the show for the Mets. Pagan with a single, Bay with a single, Cora with a single, walk by Davis, walk by Blanco. And that's what they've done against Phil Hughes. Here is Chris Carter. And a strike from Hughes. Verizon Wireless scoreboard 5-7-0, leading 3-5-0. Carter, a pinch hitter in National League games, but he's been designated hitter for the Mets in these American League games with the DH. I don't think he'll be in that role tomorrow against Sabathia. They'll probably use Tatis. David Robertson getting ready in the Yankee bullpen.
Well, these are big games for guys in the National League that don't get a lot of at-bats. You know, your pinch hits can be once, twice, maybe 3 times in a week, and all of a sudden you come into an American League ballpark and you can string together, you know, in his case, the first couple games, 8 at-bats in 2 days. So it can really help you down the road when you come up, you know, next week in a pinch hitting opportunity.
Ball gets loose in left center field, and I don't know where it came from, but Ramiro Pena tracking it down. And the 1-2. 2-2.
Didn't hear much about, but you see Pena at shortstop, about Jeter and the bruised heel. It seemed like just a one-day thing in your mind, Michael?
I would think so. He was in the lineup right until about a half hour before the game. So late scratch. I think he'll be in there tomorrow. Popped up. Pena. 1 out. Tomorrow, don't miss an all-new WB Mason presents the Joe Girardi Show as the skipper recaps the big week against National League East rivals, the Phillies and the Mets. Plus, Joe answers your questions and looks ahead to the West Coast road trip that's coming up. The Joe Girardi Show, all new tomorrow at 5, only on Yes. And you know one thing, because Joe Torre used to always say this as well, the most annoying thing in the world is not playing Jeter and having him sit there and complain.
Yeah, he's got a lot of energy still at his age, especially when he's sitting on the bench. It's not what you're accustomed to doing. I mean, if you're used to running out on the field every day, which he is, once you get on the bench, it's just, you have a hard way of passing the time.
You wonder if Jeter thinks he's going to play today, because whenever he doesn't play, he always wears that blue pullover. But he's got the uniform top on, and he's ready to roll if they need him. Francoeur with a ground ball to third. Russo. 2 outs.
Again, Hughes has just kind of hit that stride now. He's got an opportunity here to throw 4 zeros up here. So, I mean, this is exactly as Joe Girardi wanted it. He got off to kind of a tough start, giving up a few runs early, but he has really shut the Mets down since then. Allowed his offense to score some runs around him and has held that lead.
Cora with a pop-up. Right field. Swisher is there. And that's a nice, easy 1-2-3 inning for Phil Hughes, and he did it with just 8 pitches. So the Mets go down in order. At the end of 6.5, it's time for the 7th inning stretch here at the stadium. Yankees lead 5-3, but we'll stay right where we are to honor America in the Bronx.
Please run.
tough start. He hasn't made an adjustment. All of a sudden, he's thrown up some zeros. What's the difference early in the game and what we've seen the last 3 or 4 innings?
Good stuff, John, and we'll hear from John a little bit later on the postgame show with Jack and Bob and Kimberly as well. Brett Gardner, 1-0 count, and he tries to bunt, but he bunts it right back to Pelfrey, who bobbled it, but then fired a strike to Ike Davis for the first out.
Well, you can see the speed there. I mean, there's a bunt right back to the pitcher. Pelfrey bobbles it just a little bit. Ends up being a bang-bang play.
Well, he wanted to drag that. If he just gets it a little bit toward the second baseman, he's got a hit.
No, anything by the pitcher's probably a base hit in that position. Just didn't get that bat in the angle, and you just see though his speed. That's his asset out here.
Verizon Wireless scoreboard shows the Yankees leading 5-3. Count 1-0 on Swisher.
You see Jabba Chamberlain up in the bullpen, and that's been kind of the question mark. You know, you've had a couple close games lately where the bullpen has come in and given up, you know, not given up the lead, but made the lead pretty much out of hand. So it's going to be a big inning, that 8th inning. You don't worry about the 9th because you know who's coming in the 9th with the lead. But, you know, that 7th and 8th inning have been trouble for the Yankees over the past 3 or 4 days.
Let me throw this at you, Paul. Phil Hughes has been dominant. How many pitches does he have, Ryan? 99. Why wouldn't Phil Hughes pitch the 8th inning?
Well, he might start. I don't know. But, I mean, Jabba, I think you just try to get guys in specific roles. The more well-defined roles, I think people do a little bit better in. Phil Hughes hasn't had his best stuff today, but, you know, he really did find something after about the 4th inning. So, to answer your question, I mean, you're on the borderline of that 100 pitch thing. And, you know, like I said, I don't know if it's 100% that Jabba's going to start the inning, but if he's up now, he probably is going in.
Well, 4 straight scoreless innings for Hughes as Swisher hits a high fly ball to center field on the 3-2 pitch, and Pagan puts it away for the second out. Well, voting is now open for the 2010 All-Star Game in Anaheim. Help send your favorite New York Yankees to this year's All-Star Game by voting up to 25 times at Yankees.com. Visit Yankees.com and cast your ballot now for your 2010 All-Stars. Vote early and vote often. Vote today at Yankees.com. Here's Mark Teixeira. His home run in the 3rd inning was very, very large as he grounds that one. The first off the hand of Davis, and he flips to Pelfrey covering. And they get Teixeira. Teixeira thinks, and I agree with him, that Pelfrey's foot was not on the bag, that he had come through first base already. I'm sure we will take a look at it. And you'll see here, knocked down off the wrist of Davis. He stays with it and flips to Pelfrey. Very, very close, but the Yankees go down in order. TV HD Super Shot. We've slowed it down, and let's see if we could tell if he was out. And it looks like he was. Looks like his foot's still on the bag, right?
Yeah, I'd have to give him the out call there.
Another angle.
Still out.
It is close, so you can see why Teixeira was a little bit chapped. And they do turn to Jabba Chamberlain, although Hughes had just 99 pitches. Only the second time this year that Hughes has not given them 100 pitches or more. And Jabba's coming off a rough outing against the Phillies, where he didn't even stick around to talk to the media afterward. First 7 games in June, he was very, very good, really good. And then against the Phillies, didn't record an out, 2 hits and 3 runs. So he'll face 9, 1, and 2 in the Mets order. And there's a strike. And as for Hughes, he completes 7 innings for the 7th time this year. And if the bullpen does the job, he goes 10-1. That should get him to the All-Star team.
I think so.
And since he's from Southern California, that would mean the world to him. The game is in Anaheim. The 0-1. Soft roller towards second base. Cora, or should I say Cano, over to first. And Jesus Feliciano was pinch hitting for Blanco. He grounds out to second base. There's Jesus, the only left-hander they have on the bench. And that'll bring up Jose Reyes. Reyes has been the Met offense today. 2 home runs, a solo shot, a 2-run shot, and the only 3 runs the Mets have scored. Yankees lead 5-3. And a strike. So Job is right around 94 with the fastball, which is good.
When Jabba can pitch ahead, I mean, it makes his curveball so much better. I haven't seen one yet today, but, you know, usually when he has that good fastball, he's got that good curveball.
96 right there, that fastball.
It's amazing to me when he doesn't have his A fastball, he doesn't have his good curveball either. So that's what he's going to have to try to improve. You know, if you don't have your good fastball, you know, you got to have a good break. You got to have something out there. And you see he's got good fastball today.
Mariano starting to loosen up.
You get so spoiled talking about pitching because of Mariano and the consistency he's had over the years. I think you base everybody else's performance on it to be as consistent as Mariano, and there hasn't been too many people in the history of the game been able to do what he can do.
I think every closer that the Mets ever had over the last 15 years has suffered in comparison. It's not fair to compare against Mo. I think Billy Wagner was great at what he did. John Franco, the same deal. Armando Benitez was a thrill a minute, but got people out. But everybody wants a closer like Mo that doesn't make you sweat. And I think that K-Rod also dims in comparison to Mo. The 1-2. Chopped to first. Nice play there by Teixeira. And he beats Reyes to the bag. Well, today and throughout the Yankees season on Yes, we're asking you to vote along with us for the Chevy part of the game. Text your vote, 58772, or vote online at yesnetwork.com. Today's candidates are 1, Mark Teixeira, 2, Jose Reyes, 3, Curtis Granderson, 4, Phil Hughes. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. Quite a play, Paul.
Another good play. And you talk about finding yourself into good hops, and that's an in-between hop. A backhand, nothing you can do. Just kind of lay it and hope it goes in your glove. Teixeira has been so good defensively.
Won the Gold Glove last year. Just 1 error so far this year. And that's going to bring up Angel Pagan. 5-3 Yankees lead here at the stadium. Middle game of the 3-game set. Hot shot inside first and down the right field line. Swisher will play it out there. Pagan is at second. He's going to stop right there. And that brings up David Wright as a tying run.
Makes that play from Teixeira look that much more important. All of a sudden you've seen a couple balls hit hard. The guy gets an inside fastball and just turns on it, rips it right down the line. No chance for Teixeira. Good solid play by Swisher. Not trying to do too much with this ball. You know, you're not going to be able to get him at second base. Take your time, get the ball in. It's a sure double. Great view as a hitter when you're running down first base and you see that ball called fair from the umpire.
Starts off right with a breaking ball. 1-0. Wright 1 for 4 lifetime against Java. He's 0 for 3 so far this afternoon. 2 strikeouts and a pop-up to second. Another breaking ball. This one in there for a strike.
We talked about it earlier. He snapped a 7 consecutive game of driving a run in last night, and he had an opportunity last night with bases loaded. A big opportunity here. Try to get one back for the Mets.
One. 3 straight breaking balls against Wright, and the count 1-2.
3 straight good breaking balls. I mean, none of those hung. Every one of them ended up down with a sharp break.
Hi, Paul. Are you thinking he's going to try to sneak a fastball by me now if you're the hitter?
Well, it's always in the back of your mind when the guy throws that hard, but I'm almost thinking he's going to try to get that strikeout with the slider away off the plate.
And he got it. It's exactly what he did. 4 straight sliders to Java Chamberlain, or from Java to David Wright. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 5-3 Yankees.
As you see, he's going to go about it with breaking balls, and you see 3 good ones. Now he gets that's a strike breaking ball. Now he goes for the strikeout off the plate. Again, when he's ahead in the count, that breaking ball way off the plate. Good pitch.
And now Jerry Manuel makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T. Rethink possible. So Pelfrey's day is over. He can't get the win. He can only get the loss. They turn it over to Ryota Igarashi. You see his numbers. He's had a couple of bad outings, but he has a great fastball. 11 2/3 innings, 14 hits, 9 walks, which is not good. 4 strikeouts at 10.03 ERA. So Pelfrey certainly wavered, but didn't crack to the point where the Mets have no chance. But he did give up the 2 home runs, and that really hurt. Let's take a look at how the Yankees did it against him. The in-game box score brought to you by McDonald's. Brett Gardner, 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored. Great leadoff spot for him today. Nick Swisher, Mark Teixeira, big 2-run home run that tied the game at 3. Cano with a single, and then Curtis Granderson's 2-run home run made the game 5-3. That's where we are right now. And Ramiro Pena had a single.
Yeah, and to Pelfrey's credit, he just did not have his good split-fingered fastball today. The one that you see guys strike out, and it just didn't have the movement, didn't have the location on it. But he battled, gave up a couple big home runs to the Yankees, but he battled, he got through it, and again, has kept them into the game to this point.
Igarashi deals. And the count 2-0. 5-7-0 Yanks, 3-6-0 for the Mets. Bottom of the 8th inning here at the stadium. The pitch. And the count 3-0. First 7 games for Igarashi, 1.35. Since then, 21.60 ERA in 7 games. Turned him loose on 3-0, and he grounds it foul.
Better go back to that grip you used in the first 7 games, huh?
Well, he was really dealing, Paul, and then he pulled a hamstring fielding the ball. And, I saw a replay where you could actually see his hamstring waver in his pants. That's how much it was pulled. And since he's come back, he really has not been the same pitcher. 3-1. 94-mile-an-hour fastball upstairs, so Rodriguez on base for the first time today. Here's Robinson Cano.
Really good opportunity for Robbie to get a good pitch here. You got a pitcher who's been struggling a little bit with his control, walking A-Rod. Can't really pitch around you. Nobody out. Man on first base. Really, really just locate a fastball out over the plate. Take a good swing at it.
Cano, 1 for 2 with a walk. High fly ball. Center field. Deep. Going back Pagan. Still back. Still back. He lost the ball in the sun. A-Rod will go to third. Cano is at second with a sun-aided double. Pagan knew it was in the general vicinity, but he just could not locate it specifically.
You hear coaches tell you about how to go about this play. If that ball is in the sun, when it gets to the point where you're supposed to catch it, absolutely nothing you can do as a fielder, especially when you're running at that angle. You see he tries to use his glove. Robbie had the same thing. Looked for a good fastball. He knew he just missed it. And he forgot about the sun out there in left center field. Tough play for Pagan. Did everything he could. Got his glasses on. Got his glove up there. When you don't know where that ball is, bad feeling for an outfielder.
Cano's 32nd multi-hit game. Well, the Yankees could certainly give their bullpen some breathing room right now. The Mets have to bring the infield in halfway. Posada at the plate. Rodriguez not running that well. That's why it's halfway. Pitch outside, 1-0. On this homestand, Posada's batting .350, 3 home runs, 9 ribbies, 7 runs scored. And he had the grand slams on back-to-back days against the Astros.
First breaking ball there, but you see that he's getting inside. Even though you got a pretty good fastball, you get into the counts that hitters just kind of dig in and look for that. It doesn't have a lot of movement on that fastball. He uses velocity to try to get people out.
Dialed that one up, and the count 2-1. The 2-1. 3-1. The Met bullpen has struggled. Yesterday, Feliciano was outstanding. Rodriguez made it a little bit shaky in the 9th inning, but got it done. But at the beginning of the year, they were really overused. They had to be out of necessity. The starters weren't doing the job. That one's popped up and out of play. Feliciano, Jerry Manuel said, could be used today, but probably would like to stay away from him. He's eating peanuts already. Three-two. High fly ball. Right field. Francoeur has a good arm.
It's not going to be deep enough.
And A-Rod just bluffs. Francoeur paid that beautifully where he really was on the charge when he made the catch.
Important as an outfielder, you know, you get in a hurry to catch the ball and make the throw, but you have all the time in the world. Make sure you catch it going forward. You get everything in your throw. See A-Rod just bluffing. I mean, you draw a throw. If he happens to launch one and you can read that throw, you might be able to steal a run. But Robbie Thompson immediately. It's Robbie's call whether you're going or not.
All right, let's manage right here. You've got Warthen out on the mound. You've got Granderson up in the play. You've got first base open with one out. Pena on deck. Do you intentionally walk Granderson?
You know, I might go after him for a pitch or two, but I definitely, if I fall down or fall behind in the count, I definitely will walk him. But as a manager, you know, a lot of times when pitchers try to pitch around people, they make a mistake or they throw one in the dirt. Sometimes you're better off just walking a guy.
Now it looks like they're going to go after him. Maybe Manuel knows this stat. Pena is 6 for 9 with the bases loaded in his career. Infield comes all the way in. And there's a strike. The 0-1. Outside 1-1.
Granderson's going to get a good idea right here when you're 1-1 whether this guy really wants to come after you or whether he's just trying to make those perfect pitches.
.95-mile-an-hour fastball. The count now 2-1. Rodriguez, who walked, he's at third. Cano with a Sun-aided double. He's at second. I'm amazed for a guy who had 30 home runs at the plate. If you look at the center fielder, Pagan, he's very shallow in center.
It's almost like playing the infield in. I mean, as an outfielder, you get an idea of where you can still throw a guy out at third. And, you know, you're at the bottom of the 8th inning with Mariano in the bullpen. You got to take a chance. You bring the infield in. You actually bring the outfield in a little bit. Give them a chance on a fly ball to throw out A-Rod from third.
.96 for Igarashi, so as the inning goes along, he's picking up velocity.
Picking it up a little high in the zone.
Igarashi turns and fakes towards second. Nobody's standing there except for Cano. He'd have to catch it himself. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Big strikeout for Igarashi.
You know, sometimes pitchers get away. You see, it's supposed to be an inside pitch. Ends up on the outside corner. Granderson swings the right, throw it. Just when you throw your head like that, every once in a while you miss a target, huh?
So now he has to deal with Ramiro Pena.
You know, Pena's kind of in Granderson's same position here. You know there's a base open. If he gets behind you, he's probably going to pitch around you with the right-hander on deck. But again, you don't want to give him strikes. He's got a nice straight fastball. He's missed with a couple trying to come in out over the plate. He might make a mistake and give you a pitch to hit.
Those are the breaking ball. 1-0. Pena's 1 for 3 so far today. Single to left in the second. Fly to left in the fourth, and then grounded back to the mound in the sixth. 214 hitter this year with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Count 1-1.
Again, Igarashi has a tough time to get that ball in on lefties. I mean, you see numerous times he's had the target inside. The ball ends up tailing out over the plate.
Yankees trying to build the lead for the 9th inning. It's 5-3 right now. And it looks like it's going to stay 5-3. A ground ball to Reyes. And Igarashi works into and out of trouble. No runs are hit, no errors, and 2 men left. Last lick's coming up for the Mets. They'll do it against Mariano Rivera. Land Rover.
Now we go back to the 3rd inning. Mark Teixeira, second at bat of the game, down 3-1. One swing in the bat, tied it up 3-3. That's our drive of the game.
That was a big play in the game because the Yankees had obviously a letdown after Jose Reyes hit his second home run, gave them a 3-1 lead. But Teixeira answered right back with that 2-run shot. Land Rover drive of the game. So a big blow for Teixeira, and now the Yankees will turn it over to Mariano Rivera. And coming up after the final out, don't miss the WB Nation postgame show as Bob Lorenz, John Flaherty, and Jack Curry break down all the action from this game, plus Kimberly Jones gets the team's reaction from the clubhouse. It's all coming up on the WB Mason postgame. It's only on Yes.
Are you dyslexic?
No.
Because I was looking at your read there, and you mixed up the names. You got it all in there. You just mixed up the names.
I take it one at a time. I read
pretty
it differently
good.
each
You can just
time.
throw them in the order you want. That's pretty good.
Mariano with 15 saves, going to try to nail this one down and even this series at a game apiece, and also stop the Yankees' losing streak at 3 straight. Here's Ike Davis. Mariano's last 9 games, 9 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts. The 1-0. Count 2-0. There's a strike to Davis. He thought that pitch was inside, and he's telling Chad Fairchild as much.
I think when you face Mariano and you're 2-0, you hope that 3-0 pitch is inside. All of a sudden, now he's back in the account.
Count 2-2. Davis has a hit and is only at bat against Mo. Mo has not pitched since the 13th of the month. And today is the 19th. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. By Panasonic Viera with 3D This Lifelike. Can we still call it a TV? And by Acura Advance. Here's Jason Bay against Mo. Bay 1 for 3. Pitch high. Bay in his career 2 for 6 against Rivera with 1 home run, and that home run was a game winner against the Red Sox.
Cutter there, and you're right. Bay, Bay has faced Mariano with that Boston Yankee thing, and now he's facing him now with the Mets and Yankee thing. So he's gone with 2 organizations to match up as rivals with the Yankees.
The 1-1. 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. Now 2-2. Bay single to left, fly to center, and wrapped into a 5-4-3 double play. 4 home runs on the season. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, top of the 9th. Yankees lead by 2, 5-3. And the pitch. Missed inside.
Didn't miss by much. And that's the first 2-seamer who's thrown all inning. Trying to run it back in on a righty.
And the pitch. Grounded softly to second. Cano gets the hustling Bay for the second out. The Yankees are 1 out away from a win. Mariano has now held righties hitless in their last 19 at-bats.
Some things at the game today that really turned the page from last night. Some good things happened. Phil Hughes got off to kind of a rocky start and kind of figured out how to change it. held the lead. Don't have to worry about the offensive, worrying about answering the questions. They swung the bats today. Got the ball to Mo in the ninth with the lead. Jabba held a lead. A lot of good things on the list today for the Yankees.
Count 1-0 on Chris Carter. Carter is 0 for 3. Double play, pop to second, pop to short. The 1-0. 1-1. A crowd of 49,073. Second straight sellout for the Yankees and the Mets. Looking for the final out. At least most of them. There's some Met fans here as well. The 1-1. The count 2-1. Jeff Francoeur is on deck. Carter just wants to get on. Keep this alive. Jeter's had the day off. Heel soreness from last night. Scratch from the original lineup. Half hour before the game. So far, he's enjoyed what he's seen. The 2-1. This should do it. Ground ball to Teixeira. He steps on the bag, and the Yankees win 5-3. In the ninth inning, 3 up and 3 down. Big home run for Curtis Granderson, and that is the difference in this game. Granderson hit his 2-run shot when it was 3-3, and Joe Girardi has watched his team snap its 3-game losing streak. They stick around for the postgame show to find out who's today's Chevy player of the game. Now, Paul said it so well. A lot of good things for the Yankees in this game. Obviously, they snapped out of their offensive malaise. Phil Hughes goes to 10-1. 10-1 for a young pitcher in the starting rotation. He made it out of spring training and started as the 5th starter. And you wonder, is he still the 5th starter right now? But 10-1 should get him on the All-Star team. Remember, he grew up in Santa Ana, which is 10 miles from Angel Stadium. That's where the All-Star game is going to be played. Granderson's the hero today with the 2-run home run, and Kimberly Jones has him in front of the Yankee dugout. Kim?
That's right, Michael. Curtis, 5 runs, 8 hits. Did this feel a little more normal offensively today for your team?
It is, but it's difficult depending on the teams and the pitches we've been facing. You know, we ran into a lot of great guys and some great arms and great bullpens, so it's hard to put runs on the board. And even today, the starter out there for them was 9-1 coming in today, and somehow we were able to score some runs off of it.
And you had never seen Pelfrey before today. You out in your first at-bat, but your second at-bat, you take him deep. Did Jorge's walk that preceded the home run help you at all?
You know, getting a chance to see some pitches from his side, but at the same time, the pitch that I ended up hitting out was a curveball, which isn't a pitch that he throws much throughout the at-bat. His split and his fastball are very effective pitches. He threw them a lot throughout the game, and I happened to luck up on the one that he doesn't throw that much and hit it out.
You say luck up. How'd you actually hit that curveball out if you're not used to seeing it from him?
I don't know. I think it's one of those things you don't overthink the situation and let your physical ability take over.
We all talked earlier about how good Pelfrey has been. How about your guy today? Phil Hughes, 10-1. As a teammate for half a season now almost, what impresses you most about Hughes?
I think the big thing today, you know, you give up 2 home runs to the leadoff guy, fall behind early, and go ahead and keep composed. Stayed in the ball game late, gave us an opportunity to come back and tie a game up, go ahead and also give him a chance to get the victory today. So to able to keep your composure against this great offensive lineup in the New York Mets, you know, that speaks highly for what he's been able to do this season.
Let you cool off. Thanks, Curtis.
Thank you.
Michael, back to you.
Thank you, Curtis, and thank you, Kimberly. So the Yankees win this one 5-3, and the Yankees can enjoy their Saturday night as they have evened up this series at a game apiece and also snapped their 3-game losing streak, and their offense wakes up. Got an award to give out, and then the post